All right, folks, welcome to another episode of our Zoomup. It's our meetup on Zoom where we're showcasing our amazing success stories and transformational students going through our program. My name is Michael Huggins, coming to you live from Tennessee. Got my co-host today out of Chi-Town. What's up?
Working
Scooter.
from home today, Michael. Working from home. Thursday's work from home day. Here I am.
Nice. Right on. Yep. Well, the exciting thing about this video series for all of you catching these is we're bringing you stories of transformation from people inside of our community that are absolutely changing their lives. They cannot recognize the old self and their new life and the transformation that's taken place. And we're bringing these stories to you to inspire you to get off your butt and chase your dreams, face your fears, link arms with us, and let's go out there and crush it. There's so many possibilities out there. A lot of our students we're saying, as we've been making these, we're on episode 80 something now. A lot of them are saying 2020 is one of their best years ever. And we have a proven system to show you how to do it. Now, real estate is risky. It's definitely risky. You got to cross the T's, dot the I's, use all the professionals. And then there's more after this story today that we're going to share with you. Scott, what do we want folks to do after today's episode?
Because they should dot I's and cross T's and make sure they get to more information, make sound decisions. And the way you do that is joining us on an intro, like I think you had and I had. I think even Cheryl saw one of my intros. So seeing an intro to an introduction kind of lays out what we do. You could get to a property tour where you're actually seeing one of the students doing a deal and they break it down for you so you see how real the stuff is. Or get to a workshop. We have a really cool workshop this weekend. I don't know if you see the recording, you're going to catch it, but notes, we have the fourth largest note broker in the country in a workshop this weekend. So anyway, get back in touch with the person who invited you here and pick one of those three things: intro, property tour, workshop.
Yes, we will guide you through this information experience so you can basically start getting the same benefits from this community that we're receiving. It's amazing. I've been around for 10 years. I was making $21,000 a year, doing 10,000 oil changes a year at Jiffy Lube. I hated it. It was behind on my bills and my promises. I used this program and replaced my yearly income with my first deal. And now I've done all kinds of deals. Now I'm working on a dream deal. It's a land development project. Scott, 30-second snapshot. What have you been able to do? What happened for you?
You know what? Lost a $212,000 job, got involved with the group. Within 3 months, had my first house under contract. It was a wholesale deal. I worked through the 4 levels of real estate investing. So I did wholesaling first, 5 deals. Did my first rehab deal on my 6th deal. Had my first buy and hold, my 7th deal. So that was all in the first year. So pretty good stuff. And today we've got 79 houses that we're partnered up on. So more money coming in than bills being paid. That's awesome.
Beautiful thing. And that's what we're doing. We've been doing this I've been a part of it for 10 years. Scott's going on 14, 15 years. The CEO who we've been working with has been doing it for more than 20 years. So we have an amazing track record, thousands and thousands of students going through the doors and achieving some amazing success. So tell us about Cheryl today and our guest of honor.
Well, she hails from the same state as my wife. We're Packers hate Bears. So I'm in Chicago, they're in Wisconsin. But she just recently moved down by you because you're so attractive, bro. And I've hugged her a lot. You know, I actually she helped build a community up there in Wisconsin for us. I went up and did meetings with her. Her and her husband are awesome with people. And I think she's got a pretty good short-term story. So she's doing some short-term rentals. So nailing that. But please help me welcome from the place where cheese is made the best, Wisconsin, via Tennessee today. Cheryl Key, everybody.
Cheryl.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. I'm excited to share a little bit of my story with y'all. And I've been in Tennessee for all of not even 24 hours yet. So I still consider myself a Wisconsinite.
Nice.
So Ian and I got involved. Well, Ian knew that he wanted to do real estate for much longer than I knew. We got married in 2016. He's like, Cheryl, we're doing real estate. And I was very risk averse and kind of a little bit hesitant to jump into it because, like Michael said, real estate can be risky. And so I was very conscious of the risks, but I knew it was something that he really wanted to pursue, and I trusted his judgment. So I'm like, okay, you've got a great community, we've got some great education to plug into. So we plugged into it and focused hardcore first on long-term rentals, because that was going to create that passive income that we wanted to replace our personal income. And in May of 2018, we closed on our first rental property using none of our own money. So Michael speaks a lot about different currencies, and one of the currencies we were short on was money, but thanks to this community and the education, we had the currency of knowledge, and we used that to leverage ourselves and get into our first rental property. And so we began getting that passive income. And then within the next year, there were 2 more properties also using someone else's money, but our knowledge and our community connections. And then we started hearing about short-term rentals. And these short-term rentals sounded absolutely amazing. And there was some education about it. And so we plugged into the education. And within 1 week after really getting that knowledge, we were like, we can do this. So we hit the ground running. And within a month, we had a contract for our first short-term rental apartment. We're doing the rental arbitrage strategy. And we had a contract for 1 unit that quickly became 2 units, that became 3 units. And within a year, we're up to 7 short-term rental units. We sold some of the long-term rentals. And so now we just have 1 duplex in Wisconsin and 7 short-term rentals. And those are also located in Wisconsin. Thanks to the knowledge we've been able to gain, we've been able to systematize to the point where we can leave that, have it running, and be able to handle all the guest relations from in Tennessee. So yesterday, we finally completed phase 1 of the relocation and are now in Tennessee with those. And yesterday we had our first turnover in our absence, and things went smoothly. And today we had another one and things went smoothly. So that is the very, very short version of what's been going on. What would you like some more details about? Because
I got a question. I got a question. So you skipped right into married, risk-averse real estate. Now you're in the short-term rentals. What were you doing before? I mean, what were you and Ian doing before you started doing real estate?
Prior to meeting Ian, I had been a teacher, and I dropped out of teaching after 2 years because it was a truly horrible experience where I had tons and tons of work and very, very little money. And
What do you mean dropped
Ian
out?
was a photographer. What was that?
What do you mean dropped out? You just were like, you know what? No, not for me. I'm not being a teacher.
One lunch hour,
Absolutely.
she snuck out the back door.
I gave my resignation, and then I wandered in the wilderness a little bit of trying to figure out how to create income, because I knew I didn't want to be a teacher, and that was what I had a degree for. So I spent a lot of money on a degree that I used for 2 years.
How long did you think about being a teacher?
Oh man, I'd say a solid 3 or 4 years, because when I was first getting my degree, it was English. It wasn't English education until several years into my degree. But
okay.
Yeah, a good 3 to 4 years.
You spent all that money, became a teacher, did it for 2 years, and then you were like, why did I do this?
I didn't want to cry every night, especially for the little money I was making.
Oh, that's good. You should.
Is that a joke, or was that actually happening?
Oh, it was happening a lot. It was brutal.
Okay. And so you needed to make a change. So you went into Wander World, and how did you find us?
What about Ian? Hold on a second. What about Ian? What was Ian doing?
Ian was doing, well, first he was doing photography on a cruise ship. He did that for several years. And then he wanted to do photography for himself, not for other people. But he knew that in order to do that, he'd have to generate passive income. So he put a lot of research into how to generate passive income and settled on doing real estate. But then he was very smart about how he did it, because he didn't want to just jump in and start flailing around. He wanted to get educated and make sure he was doing things in a way that would be less risky, because he had some knowledge going into it.
Okay, and here's my second question. So, or third or fourth. So you guys, and I think this is important for audience to hear. You guys, did you travel to our office in Chicago from Wisconsin, or did you see the
I can see
webinars
your
there?
mouth moving.
Oh, you can't hear me? You can't, can
I
you guys
Okay.
not hear me?
Your sound just came back.
Oh, okay. So did you travel to our office in Chicago for an intro meeting, or did you watch it online?
Ian watched it online. He watched the online meetings, and then he went to a property tour. And the property tour, he saw work that was being done, and he's like, oh my goodness, people are really doing things. It's not just theoretical. They're taking action, they're doing it. There's a system here.
Great.
Nice.
Okay, good. And then you started taking classes, and that first deal happened. How long between first class and first rental? I think you guys
Wait,
talked
you
about.
skipped something. So the webinar, did you
Okay.
click on an ad, or did a friend call you? How did you get on the webinar?
Craigslist ad.
A Craigslist ad. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back
Okay,
in
and
the
then
day.
you came to the intro meeting and saw Michael cover the 4 currencies. That's awesome. Oh yeah, these guys got 5. Anyway. All right. So how long between the first class you took and then the first deal?
Ian, how long would you say? Was it about a year? Or
Is Ian there?
It was 2 years.
Let's see Ian. Ian's like
Ian,
giving
come
you
over here.
signs. Come on, you bring Ian in the picture here. Look at Ian. Look at the man that made it all happen for her. Look at this. Oh,
There
what's
he
up, there,
is.
dude? There he is. All right.
Right on. Welcome to Tennessee.
Thanks.
He's
We're
real.
squatting on the floor because we don't have furniture yet.
Nice.
All right. So so it was 2 years before you did that first deal?
1.
1 year?
What did you say?
2.
1 or 2?
2.
2 years. It was
It
2
was-
years.
We took it slow because I was like, you're working on marrying me. You got to do that first before we jump into real estate.
Oh, you weren't married? You guys weren't married when you saw the classes? You weren't married?
When he first started, we weren't married.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, well, it's a good thing it went well, Ian, or you might not be married. So,
Right.
all right. So 2 years in, and I like hearing that, because some people, like I was in my first deal, my 3rd month. How long before you in your first deal, Michael?
I was in it within month 3 and got paid in month 9. And I was noticing on our last 10 episodes, they've been 3 months, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah. I'm
It's
glad somebody said 2 years. I'm glad, right? Because now I've got a question, because a lot of people are like, I hear all these great numbers, and they think they got to be like those people. But are you guys, you okay with having done 2 years? I mean, now you're on a roll.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a little bit of time for me to wrap my mind around it. But after I did that and took action, things happen. And I'm not in a race with you or anybody else. It's do it at your own pace.
What a great line. I love that line. I'm not in a race with nobody.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a good way to do business. Don't be in a race.
Right. Build it on solid foundations, get your right education, and use the resources around you. And so that's a great example. And that's one benefit of being a part of our community is you're not in a rush. Things aren't cut off because you didn't do something quickly. And you were able to have that space to do it smart. So great work.
Awesome.
I will say that even though it's a slower start compared to others, now the only reason we're not doing more right now is because we purposely put the brakes on some things. Like once we started going, the momentum built and built and built. And then I was like, okay, let's slow down for a little bit and take a breath and just move first before we open more short-term rentals or do something else.
That being said, though, I did inspect 9 single-family homes this morning that I might make a portfolio on. So here comes 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Welcome to Tennessee.
Yeah. Day 1, no hesitation. And that's the kind of power that you get equipped with in a program like this is wherever we drop you in the country, you can start day 1, get into work and creating income for yourself and your family. So great example, Ian and Cheryl. Thanks for being here.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. So I got a question. How many short terms you got right now?
7.
Okay, so on 7, we've been asking folks because we've had a few folks on lately that have been short-term rentals, and the nice thing about this short-term rental game is that it just becomes math. You're not working hard for an income like you were as a teacher. Now you're actually just creating revenues, and it's now just an equation, right? So what if you don't mind sharing, what's like average monthly on the 7 short terms in Wisconsin?
Net income, so after all expenses, is between $500 to $800 a month per unit.
Per unit, right? So we're talking about $3,500 to $4,200 a month. Yeah. See, and that's it. So, and this is important for everybody to hear, I think. You know, when I came down to the meeting, it was an art teacher that was able to quit his job on 22 rental properties. It was long-term rentals, right? Like he had lending on them and everything. So he had 22 rents coming in, working on his 23rd, and he had more money coming in than bills going out. Even though he wasn't making $212,000 a year, he had peace of mind, and I was envious. Does that make sense? Because I used to make $212,000 a year with lots of stress, right? And this guy was just cruising through life now. I'm like, I would rather be that guy with peace of mind than be the person, you know, in the big office in charge of all the peoples, right? So I shifted my mind after losing a big job and then getting into this too. It was great.
Yeah, money is not the source of happiness. It's freedom, and you can use your money to buy your freedom. And so it really doesn't matter your background, teacher, oil changer, executive, doesn't matter what you were doing. If you embrace these principles, you can make money.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. Any advice for a new person watching this?
Take action.
Attaboy.
Nice. Just do
and
it.
what does action look like? What do you mean by take action? Because some people might say, well, it took you 2 years to take action, killer. So what do you mean by take action?
Well, what I did was I watched classes and I did what they told me to do.
Right.
And I wasn't afraid to lose money, because if you lose money, it's not the end of the world. You just go do it again.
That's interesting.
Did
Idea.
Did you lose money?
Let's see. Let's talk about that for a second. You brought up did you lose money on a deal?
No. Well, some of our short-term rentals, 2 of the short-term rentals that we opened up in Milwaukee were not profitable. So we closed those down and started more instead in a better place. But on our real estate deals, no, we haven't lost any.
All right, good.
But to that point of the 2 short-term rentals we had to close down, and the money we lost was, you know, paying for the broken lease. But those were short-term rentals we had set up not according to what we had learned. So do it the way you're told to do it.
There you go. All right, that's a good lesson then. I'm glad you brought it up.
To clarify, we weren't listening when we didn't make it profitable.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for specifying that, because that's a good point there. The more coachable you are, the more you show up coachable, the more we can dump these good ideas into you. So
I got another question.
Go for it.
Got another question. So so you're in Tennessee now. You guys plan on, is that like we're in Tennessee for good? Like you're in Tennessee. Okay. So you're out.
We'll come visit you though in October, Scott.
It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'll come visit you. How's that sound? I'm gonna go see. So you, me, and me and Michael can play hide and seek on his property, because we'll never find each other. It's so big. It's like 265 acres of fantasy land out there. He's still mapping out his own backyard. Like he's finding stuff in the weeds, like motorcycles and cabins he didn't know was there when he bought the place. So
sending him pictures. It's pretty bizarre. So yeah, we need to hang out for sure.
So fun. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. You guys are again, you know, I love the people that we attract to. The best people we got are the keys here. So it's awesome.
Yeah. So folks, stick around, Cheryl, and because we do have a few more questions. So
bonus round.
Yeah. But for those of you who are here or catching the recording, it's now time for you to move forward into the intro, the house tour, and the workshop. Grab those recordings or come to the live ones. We do have a lot coming up here in the future. So get registered for those. They are by invite only. So you do need to be on the guest list in order to get into those Zooms. The last one we had, it was amazing. There was like 500 people there. So you do want to come see these. We're giving so much value. And those are amazing days. I came to my first one and it blew my mind. I brought my mother-in-law. I was like, you need to see what we're doing here. And so she decided to get involved too. So share what's going on with this amazing community. And with that, anything else, Scott, before we wrap this one up?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Good job, guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys joining us.
Yeah, congrats again. And we'll see you guys soon.
All right.